Welcome back to another episode of the squat cycle. We're in week 2 and this is session B. As you will notice, the percentages and the rep scheme looks very similar. That's because it is. The only difference is the front squat and the back squat are flipped, but everything else is exactly the same. Now, one thing I did not mention last week, but to keep in mind for this week as you hit this percentage or go for this said weight, is these 90% pluses and these very, very heavy loads are on the most ideal day of training for you. The day where work is either less strenuous, you have like a half day, you're off that day, like a Saturday for most, where you can get some extra rest the night before, you can carb up the night before, you can carb up and eat a good meal in the morning, you're less stressed, you have time to warm up in the gym, and there's nothing that is going to negate from your training. So keep that in mind, as this is a very ideal training day. If you're coming in on a Wednesday and you had Monday, Tuesday to beat yourself up, and now you're gonna hit this on a Wednesday, please proceed with caution. We don't want injuries. Again, when we're approaching a sub-maximal lift, you want the conditions to be as ideal as possible. If you're warming up and things aren't feeling great, please negate this whole right side and add this as either like a 2x1 for these last 2 reps, or if you really are feeling it, go 2x1, 1x1, 3x1. Please do not exceed 90% if you are not feeling well on the day, okay? Including on this, full disclosure, I was belted up, I had knee sleeves, and I had my lifters on. So we are going, again, most ideal conditions to lift at these 90%. If I did not explain that in the previous video, I apologize, but I want to make that known that with this percentage in session B, I want the conditions for training to be as ideal as possible. So again, use caution when you're proceeding on this right side, but this is just how personally I like to push my boundaries and push myself and test myself at the beginning of a cycle, as these percentages will come down in future weeks, as you will see. So, getting into the front squats. Starting out, warming up the body with a nice 73% for 2 individual singles. We're gonna be resting for 3 to 5 minutes between sets. Then we're going to start scaling up the weight. We're taking a 9% jump to 82%. Then we're gonna take a 6% jump to 88%, a 4% jump to 92%, and then a 3 to 4% jump for 95, 96%. Full disclosure, I did miss this 92% rep. When I racked it, or came off the rack, things weren't feeling great. I should have re-racked it. The positioning was off. I went down in the hole, and it moved me out of position and failed the rep. Keep in mind, when you're hitting sub-maximal lifts above this 88% in the 90% range, again, conditions have to be as ideal as possible to 1, hit the weight, 2, to hit it cleanly, and 3, negate any possible injuries. So keep that in mind. In the second half of this lift, we're looking at the back squat. We're gonna be a little more technical as we're lowering into the bottom position. We're gonna hold that bottom position for 1 second in the pause. And then we're going to a nice explosion up out of the hole. No double bounce, just a simple pause, and we're gonna shoot back up, okay? Again, we're not coming into the hole, pausing, and then double bouncing out. I want pure power coming from that bottom position for a 1 second hold. For this one, we're gonna be resting 2 to 3 minutes in between sets, and we're gonna be going with a simple 1x1 at 50%. We're gonna take a 13% jump to 63%, and then we're gonna hit 2 2x1s, 1 at 70%, and then the final 2x1 at 73 to 74%. Again, these percentages should not be needing a belt or sleeves. You can still wear your lifters, but please, less gear on this bottom half of the workout. So in total, we're looking at 2, 4, 6 working sets. So 6 singles here, 6 singles here, 2 different types of stimulus that we are looking for. Please make sure you are carbing up before and during and after your session. Please make sure you're hydrating and taking the proper precautions, listening to your body, warming up as you should be, and taking the rests as prescribed. As always, thank you guys for watching this episode. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in for week 2, session B. And as always, peace and much love.